Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again, live from the studio, Hudson County View, live and uncut. And I'm your host, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the women's pet and the men's regret, John R. Hydus. And we're back to tell you the latest in Hoboken, Jersey City, and beyond. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the city of Hoboken's ongoing legal battle with Academy Bus. A very interesting transcript came out of that court proceeding, and we're going to talk about that latest eminent domain case today in the Mile Square City. Another thing that we're going to fill you in on is the 45th Vice President of the United States, Al Gore, actually made it to the Liberty Science Center with Governor Phil Murphy for an environmental announcement talking about clean and renewable energy. So that was an interesting one, and we certainly want you to know what happened there. If you couldn't join, if you were not able to attend, we certainly want to fill you in. And then another thing that we're going to talk about is the A. Harry Moore School in Jersey City. That is a joint program. It's a special needs program with New Jersey City University. So the Board of Education had a pivotal vote on that, and we were live, and we certainly want to inform you about the latest status of that program. It's not going anywhere, but we're going to give you the details. So all of that and much more. But first, we're just going to take a quick break from our sponsor.
It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers the quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Hydus, joined with Mark Bucinich. Mark, good to see you again.
John, good to see you as well.
So let's talk a little bit about this court proceeding on eminent domain here in Hoboken. So, Mark, obviously Judge Bariso had some strong words for the city of Hoboken in this court proceeding, and this is to expand the resiliency park. That's the Southwest Resiliency Park.
Right.
And, you know, certainly the judge was not impressed with how this thing has been going so far, I think is a pretty fair read on this situation. I mean, specifically, he said...
it doesn't pass the smell test, he said.
Yeah, and he said, you know, he really questioned the trustworthiness of the case that they had developed up to this point. So, obviously, that is not what you want to hear from the assignment judge. So, where do you see this going?
Well, it looks like, as you said, Judge Bariso has been questioning how the city's been going about this, and he particularly took issue with why the city carved out about 0.8 acres of land in their initial plan or procedure to eventually to use eminent domain to acquire all the land, because they want to obviously build the Southwest Resiliency Park. But then Judge Bariso was questioning why they then carving out 0.8 acres for industrial use.
Yeah, I mean, the usage change, he said, only made sense if you guys knew that you were going to purchase this because it's private property, and as it stands, it wouldn't really make sense to have it industrial. So there's certainly a lot of questions here as to where this is going to go. But I think it's going to be tough to negotiate with Academy when you have this this bitter court proceeding going on. I mean, obviously they could reach a middle ground, and they tried to let the court decide, but it looks like that if this case continues, that the judge is going to toss this one. Fair to assess that?
That's fair. I think that's a fair assessment, John. And I think also Judge Barriso took issue also that the city inaccurately assessed the property value, right? So, for example, according to what you wrote, the city assessed the property at 5.3 million back in 2017, but then later proven to be closer to 4.8 million this year.
Yeah, the city said that we stuck with the bigger number because we figured it would help basically make the negotiations go smoother, go quicker, and it would basically be a win-win for everyone involved. But apparently, the judge says the rules are the rules, and you got to do it A, B, C, all the way to Z.
That's right.
And he felt like that they were trying to skip some steps there, and he didn't appreciate that, obviously.
And it sounds like the negotiations, John, between the city and Academy doesn't seem to be very amicable, to say the least, right? Because according to what you reported, Mayor Ravi Bala was so frustrated at one point that he stormed out of a meeting because it seemed like Academy wasn't willing to compromise and negotiate, that he thought that would be make way for the new park. But then, of course, a lawyer, the city attorney, land attorney representing the city, said, well, when Hoboken when former Mayor Dawn Zimmer was in office, it turned out that Academy bus officials walked out of a meeting with her. So it seems the
standard procedure in Hoboken. It doesn't matter which
So
side.
it seems like both sides just haven't been able to sit opposite each other without emotions getting the better of them.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the case. I mean, again, this seems to be happening consistently, and certainly these negotiations have been ongoing for years, so who knows how this is going to end. But
And of course, John, First Ward Councilman Michael DeFusco had to weigh in on this as well, and he was very angry with the city, particularly Mayor Ravi Bala, saying that the city's engaging in a frivolous lawsuit. But then the city spokesman, Vijay Chaudhuri, said, well, it was Mike, the councilman himself, who had originally voted on this ordinance, right, for the city to pave the way to acquire the land to make so that the Southwest Resiliency Park comes to fruition. And so Vijay had some strong words for the councilman.
yeah, no secret that Mayor Bala and Councilman DeFusco still not getting along so well, and obviously they're on opposite sides on this thing, and that seems to be the case, in just about every scenario. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, who knows how long the negotiations are going to take if the court does end up tossing this lawsuit. I mean, it could be another 6 months, it could be another 6 years, who knows? But, we're certainly going to keep you informed.
So obviously to the city's detriment then, right, John?
I mean, yeah, certainly this is going to be hard to go to the negotiating table if the lawsuit does get tossed, because Academy probably is going to feel that they hold the chips at that point. So we'll see. But I guess that's basically that for now. We're going to keep you posted. There was actually supposed to be a decision on November 11th, but that has been postponed. So, we're just waiting with bated breath. And with that, we're just going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heidish, joined with Mark Bucinich. So, Mark, You obviously saw, like many others, that Al Gore, obviously, a former vice president, the 45th,
That's right.
was joined with Phil Murphy as they made an announcement about offshore wind energy. So
Wow.
specifically, the governor said that we want to be a truly global leader in every aspect of offshore wind energy. And they originally wanted to do 3,500 megawatts of offshore wind by 2030. Now the new goal, 7,500.
Wow.
And, obviously Al Gore is a leader across the country, perhaps beyond when we're talking about climate change. Of course, he's known for the film, The Inconvenient Truth.
That's right.
And, this is something that's near and dear to his heart ever since he's left office. So, what do you think about getting the former vice president right over here in Jersey City?
Wow, that seemed to be really instrumental, or I mean, very critical to have him there by the Governor Murphy's side, right, John? Given that Governor Murphy has big ambitions for the state, wanting to wean the state completely off fossil fuel, I guess, based power by the year 2050. So obviously, having former Vice President Al Gore by Governor Murphy's side, I guess, is sending a really strong message to the citizens of New Jersey, the residents, as well as pleasing all the environmental groups have been pressing the governor to make sure that he incorporates more alternative energy in the overall scheme of how New Jersey powers its economy. And of course, this comes on the heels right after I think there was another big victory for the environmental advocates in the state, and right here in our backyard, which was when Governor Phil Murphy decided to scrap the North Bergen Liberty generating plant, which would have been a large fossil fuel generating plant, at least according to the environmentalists. So here he is now making this big statement about offshore wind, which, as you said in your introduction, is going to more than double the capacity from 3,500 to 7,500 megawatts.
Yeah, I mean, that basically sums it up. To your point about the environmental groups, we saw the Food and Water Watch, we saw NJ Sierra Club, and there's many others. I mean, I would say there's at least 7 or 8 groups there.
Wow.
And, something else worth noting, it was very well covered. I mean, ABC was there, NBC,
Oh, wow.
News 12, I believe
Interesting.
even Fox had somebody there. So really good coverage for the governor, which, certainly anyone in office could appreciate, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. He definitely did get a lot of the media's interest in this particular story, and it's obviously very relevant, right? I mean, considering how, and you're seeing this, I think, in some instances across the state, John, is particularly with California. As we know, President Trump has been fighting with the state to roll back its California-based air emissions, because California is basically essentially able to set its own automobile fuel efficiency standards, which was part of the Clean Air Act when it was first passed in the early 1970s. But Trump has been trying to take that away from California. And as we also know, Trump hasn't been a big fan of the Paris Climate Accord that would require many of the world's leading developed countries and even developing countries to reduce their overall emissions. So it's interesting to see individual states taking these initiatives.
Yeah, and on that point, certainly former Vice President Gore was not impressed by that effort by President Trump. And, you may have noticed that in the video, he did a quick prayer moment where he said that he hopes that he's not reelected. But he's obviously not happy about where that direction is traveling, I guess you could say.
For sure, he's been very critical. I mean, considering, like you said, ever since Al Gore left politics, he's been one of the strongest, most vocal environmental advocates. I mean, in The Inconvenient Truth is already 13 years ago, and he had many warnings in that film and that documentary, and here it is 13 years later, and we're still not on board, it seems, with the rest of the world and trying to rein in our growing greenhouse gases.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all pretty fair to say. So, in short, certainly a very interesting and unexpected announcement from the governor, but it's consistent with what he's talked about his clean and renewable energy stance. So, he certainly ran as being a green candidate, and I guess he's trying to live up to those promises now. So we'll see. It would be interesting to see him weigh in on the Keegan landfill or Union Dry Dock, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
And just one quick note, John, for the audience. It's a Denmark company that's expected to develop a 1,100 megawatt wind farm off the coast of Atlantic City.
Oh, very, very good information to know. So thanks for drop it in. We're going to take one more break at least, and give us a second.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office space and an address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation. On-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. 201-521-9000 or visit on the web at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John Arhitis with Mark Bucinich. So, Mark, let's talk about something that you were able to attend last week. Let's talk about the Jersey City Board of Education meeting. This was a special meeting regarding the A. Harry Moore program.
That's right.
So, you know, for those that maybe haven't been following, maybe aren't from Jersey City or whatnot, basically this is a special needs program that's a joint effort, as I mentioned at the top of the show, with New Jersey City University. What I did mention today, at least, is that this program they thought may be canceled as soon as next year. Obviously, there was a lot of public pressure, and the university said, you know, we're going to take a step back and we're going to try to work on it. And, you know, there's still some concerns for people that live in that district who have children attending that school because the plan was never really hashed out from A to Z. But tell us a little bit about why this was an important vote and why this was so well attended.
It was very well attended, John. I mean, it was attended by parents of the students who, you know, have many different cognitive challenges and, as you said, multiply disabled. And some of those students spoke during, in fact, we live streamed a portion of that meeting. And if our, you know, and it seems like we got some good viewership on that live stream. And so the audience got to hear from some of the students themselves, some of them who, despite their struggles to speak, were able to, you know, tell their story in a very passionate way, pleading with the board not to close this program. But, you know, Board President Sidon Thomas was quick to say that, you know, he wanted to make sure that everybody understood that it's not the intention of the board to close down this program. The concern is obviously that with the building that was formerly housing this program now is out of commission because of a roof collapse, that Sidon Thomas explained that New Jersey City University, which actually administers the program while the Jersey City School District provides the facility, they're concerned that New Jersey City University may walk away from this program unless the facility issue is resolved. So to that end, President Sidon Thomas wanted to make sure that there was a seamless transition or at least a seamless path to find a solution to this, whether it be fixing the old A. Harry Moore School building, the actual building itself, or expanding where they are right now, which is the Regional Day School at 425 Johnson Street. So he introduced 5 resolutions, multiple resolutions, which caused some consternation after the third one among some of the board members because they thought maybe they were rushing through some resolutions that they weren't necessarily all privy to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a common complaint that we hear from board members and from members of the public is that at Jersey City Board of Ed, so many things are add-ons. And, you know, so I guess that led to some more infighting for at least a few moments there.
It did, yes.
But it looked like most of it went smooth because 4 of those measures were approved, correct?
4 were, and according to Sidon, in a follow-up after the meeting, which was really important, was making sure that they voted on the contract, a 5-year contract with, I think, the option for either party or maybe NGCU to exit the agreement after 3 years. But they wanted to make sure that the board voted on a new contract that creates a new one from July 2025 to from July 2020, which is when it's scheduled to supposedly end, to out to 2025. So they did get to vote on that. Some of the other things that they voted on, for example, is creating an ad hoc committee that would include members from the Jersey City Board of Education as well as NJCU representatives, so that they could now meet once a month to discuss planning and overall planning and finding a new home for the program should the board not be able to come up with the funds to fix the building that's currently out of commission.
So tell us a little bit about NJCU's perspective, because if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time they went on the record about this, at least in a public forum type of setting.
It was, yes, sorry to interrupt you, John. I mean, it was interesting back and forth between board trustee Joan Terrell Page and Dr. Roger Harris, who was the representative from NJCU. And Joan Terrell Page, Ms. Page, said to Roger Harris, well, you guys are going through a building boom. Why can't you contribute some of that money that you're putting towards your own buildings and new buildings, that is, and maybe make that available for the program? But he was quick to note that NJCU administers the program. Who's responsible for the facility is actually the Jersey City Public School District.
Very good, Mark. All right, well, we're glad you were able to make it over there, and certainly thank you for summing that up for us. We're going to jump one more time. Just give us a few moments.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments, see emergency room wait times, and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Haitis, joined by Mark Bucinich. So, Mark, it's actually appropriate that the governor made that announcement that we just talked about, because also this week we had two big environmental developments out of Trenton, but not out of the governor's office, over in the legislative branch. And we saw two of our state senators introduced a bill about Keegan landfill, the potential closure there. And we also saw the Liberty State Park Protection Act advance out of a committee. Again, quite appropriate, since Murphy was literally just down the street at the Science Center. So, again, it looks like a lot of green initiatives here in Hudson County. So, first of all, just what do you think about this Keegan landfill saga? I mean, we've been talking about this for a solid, 7-8 months now, and we still have no conclusion. So, it's
right. I mean, they're right. I mean, the Carney won the lawsuit, right? I mean, as you mentioned in the article, and you refer obviously to Carney Mayor Alberto Santos. Carney won the landfill, but the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, which owns that landfill, which is an interesting dynamic, I guess, or an interesting relationship, that they own that landfill.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, what does a sports authority have to do with environmental, a landfill, waste dump, or former waste site? Anyway, that's beside the point, but that they're appealing that decision. So, and that led to Carney Mayor Alberto Santos explaining, like, he doesn't understand why, he said he doesn't really understand the reasoning why they're appealing this decision to close it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, two of the state senators in this district, of course, Brian Stack and Nick Sacco, seem to agree with him, because they've introduced this legislation that's calling for the closure, and it's also calling for the NJSEA to drop that lawsuit, drop that appeal.
That's
so,
right.
I mean, this seems like something that should have been settled, like you basically said already, but here we are, again, many months later, still talking about it.
And you even had the chapter chair of the New Jersey Sierra Club, Jeff Tittle, weighing in on this, right? And you quoted him in the story, John, and that he said, pretty strong words, I guess, right? Something is really wrong when state agencies, referring to obviously the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, are using state money to poison a neighborhood, because obviously the environmentalists are concerned that this is releasing over 30 parts of hydrogen sulfide per billion parts of air from that former waste dump, or from that landfill, that is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection standard is. That 30 is the magic number when you're talking about the sulfide, and you're talking about the parts per billion, I believe it is.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, I mean, the readings consistently show that they're going beyond that threshold, but
Yes.
again, we're still having this conversation, so I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I think this is a bill that is going to advance pretty quickly. I don't see how anybody on either side of the aisle could have a problem with this.
Very good point, John.
So the other thing, let's talk about the Liberty State Park Protection Act.
Sure.
So this is something that, of course, everyone in Jersey City is pretty excited about, and it looks
Right.
like it's basically got unanimous support, whether we're talking about, the mayor's office or the council or, just anybody really that just knows Liberty State Park.
Yeah, right.
Certainly people want to make sure that this thing doesn't get developed, and I mean, they've had fights for decades.
Going back 30 years
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, and the Friends of Liberty State Park, of course, led by Sam Pessin. Of course, that Pessin family of notorious over here in Jersey City. And he's done a great job of making sure that, Liberty State Park remains what it is. There's been attempts on a marina. There's been attempts
Golf
for
courses. Water park.
Yeah, the list goes on.
Right.
But, Sam Pessin and, Team Liberty State Park has continued to be victorious. And this bill would just basically make sure that they don't have to put their hands up and fight every couple years. It would
Yeah,
basically
exactly.
say that there is no more big development. And if there was any plans to do any sort of changes whatsoever, there would be a committee and it would be public forums and, nobody's going to get sucker punched, essentially.
Right. It sounds like, based on what you reported, John, I mean, looks like what's coming out of that Senate committee, that there might be some room for minimal commercial development, but it would obviously consist of a committee made up of the public, I guess environmental advocates, and they would have a say in as to what's obvious. But they said that, what they want to place there would only enhance the site for more tourists to visit, right? So it's interesting, though, that as you said, one of the things that kind of was very controversial over the many years as to regarding the different kind of plans that were being proposed to build on that site. I think it was former Governor Chris Christie, who I think one of his last parting shots in his final term as governor decided to, I think, if we remember, when we reported on this, in fact, there was even a press conference in Jersey City where Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop attended, where Governor Christie was going to allow, modified some legislation that would allow even for private yachts, private multi-million-dollar yachts to be able to dock there. And so, again, with this kind of legislation coming out of the committee, it would prevent plans like that from happening in the future.
Yeah, so again, I mean, this seems like something that has just about unanimous support across the city, and just like the Keegan landfill bill, I expect this one to move quickly and swiftly with little, if any, opposition. So
Yeah, exactly.
just a quick clerical point. Some have asked, and I made note of it in our most recent newsletter on Monday, but the trial of Frank Rea is, well, of course it's over, but the case is ongoing, and he was supposed to be sentenced 3 times already, but it looks like it's going to be at least 4 because he did not end up going to the federal courthouse on Tuesday. That has been pushed to December. I believe the new date is December 3rd, but again, it's been changed a number of times, so we don't know where this is going to go. But for now, it certainly won't be this month. We'll see if it happens before the holidays. As you guys know, Frank Rea, a prominent Politico in Hoboken, also a developer, and he was convicted of vote-by-mail fraud in connection to the 2013 race back on June 26th. So we'll see what happens there. The maximum sentence is 5 years and a $250,000 fine. So with that, thanks you everyone for tuning in. Always a pleasure. We'll see you next week. Have a happy, healthy Thanksgiving.